Oh, don't blur your password. Okay, yeah, I'm more than happy to watch Don't Blur Your Password. For anyone who is unaware, blur is non-destructive. Anyone who tells you it is a fucking liar. If you understand the blur algorithm that was used, with the exception of a couple, blur is non-destructive. Blur your local IP though, exactly. Make sure you blur your local IP. You wouldn't want anyone to know what IP address you are on your local network.
Take a look at this image. I mean,
Mike Wazowski.
What do you think it is? It's blurred, but you can probably still tell that it's Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc.
Sure.
Now, what about this one? It's really blurred this
Mario.
time. I'm sure you still recognized it as Mario. Those were pretty easy to decipher because they're recognizable characters.
That is a fucking look. Holy shit. I respect that. I respect that look. Jesus fucking Christ. That's a crazy headset. I think it's the Razer headset, actually. I think that... yeah, I think those are the Razer Cat ears. I could be wrong, though. What does that waifu you have as your profile picture on Discord? That is art of my FF14 character. Also, that's Celeste down there, isn't it? Yeah, that's Celeste.
Characters. We know what's behind the blur because we've seen it before. But
Sure.
what if I showed you this? Could you figure out what's behind the blur? Well, today I'm going to show you that this might not actually be that hard to solve, and next time you blur your password, you might want to rethink it. The other day, I saw this post by my favorite YouTuber, Captain Disillusion, who's simply asking, can someone unblur these center digits? Now, in order to claim my spot as the first one to solve this, I instantly started brainstorming ways to decipher the set of 18 digits that had been blurred into an unreadable...
I did see a lot of people doing this. A lot of people brute forced it. They knew the blur algorithm and just re-blurred the text.
Mess. At first, it may seem impossible, but there are actually a surprising amount of cases throughout history where a similar thing has actually been worked out, especially with...
Who's gonna spend their time to undo Potion Seller? What kind of life do you live that you're going to go and undo Potion Seller? Let me just show you Potion Seller for anyone who's unaware.
Listen to me. Hello, Potion Seller. I am going into battle, and I want your strongest potions. My potions are too strong for you, traveler. Potion Seller, I tell you I'm going into battle, and I want only your strongest potion.
What?
You can't handle my potions. They're too strong for you.
Potion Seller.
Potion Seller. Listen to me.
He's just trying to like...
I want only
There
your
it is.
strongest potions. My potions would kill you, traveler. You cannot handle my potions. Potion Seller, enough of these games. I'm going into battle, and I need your strongest potions.
2010, 2011 YouTube
My
was a different
strongest
place.
potions will kill you, traveler. You can't handle my strongest potions. You better go to a seller that sells weaker potions.
Wait, he has 188k subs. He's actually done other things on this channel. I only knew him as Potion Seller. I actually did not know there were other videos in this channel. Oh my god, they all have fucking tons of views. What the hell? How? This was such a weird time for YouTube.
Surprising amount of cases throughout history where a similar thing has actually been worked out, especially with law enforcement. In 2007, Christopher
in the
Paul
wrong
Neal was
business,
arrested
apparently.
for some pretty horrible stuff that I'm not going to mention in this video, but the way it was found out is pretty fascinating. You see, he would taunt the police by leaving pictures of himself online, but to hide his identity...
Right, yeah, no, I do remember this guy. This guy's a fucking moron. If you want to talk about blur being reversible, this is very reversible.
Each photo had an effect that would swirl his face. The police did struggle to decipher the photos at first, but eventually they realized that he probably just used some sort of common editing application to do it. So,
yeah, he probably did it in Photoshop, and then you just do the blur in the other direction.
Sure enough, using said application, they simply put the effect in reverse and were able to get a pretty clear photo of his face. This strategy of reversing the effect on distortion can also be used to reverse the effect of blurred license plates on driving cars. And funnily enough, the original question that Captain D asked, which all started this, was about how people preferred license plates to be removed. What I do know is that in a similar vein, photos of license plates are usually taken in motion, which requires software to engineer, but is generally still doable. I mean, this technology has actually been a thing for decades now.
If you actually want to hide something, okay, very, very easy, okay? I'm gonna show you the surefire way to remove something, okay? Let's make a new thing. Okay. So let's put some text here. License plate. Okay. Right, what you do is you get the rectangle tool. You do this. And it's covered. Now, be very careful that you don't touch this slider. Okay? Because if this is anything less than 100%, you can see it. Put that at 100%. Now, if you're doing this on real paper, do not use a fucking marker. Holy shit. I have seen so many times people using like a Sharpie to draw over like text on an actual document. You can still see the text. Stop it.
Particular software is reserved for law enforcement, and the video about it is like 15 years old, but that doesn't stop everyone in the comments from begging for access to the software to figure out who run into me when my car was parked and run off.
Oh no. Oi! No! Stop it! I'm stop counts. There we go. Better.
Take a look at this image. I mean, what do you think?
At? Here?
Restricted for law enforcement. Yes, I need to. It's to be removed. What I do know is that, but it's generally still doable. I mean, this technology has actually been 18 years old. Run into me when my car was parked and run off. I need this for a hit and run. Thank you for contacting us. Our products are restricted for law enforcement. Yes, I need to. Somebody ran away after he hit me behind. He refused to give me his details, but I managed to get his CCTV footage, but I can't take his number plate. Yes, same pro, but I got the car image. Can this YouTuber help me, please? Can you help me? I blurred the picture, please. How to purchase software. Please. I'm working in crime branch.
I'm working in
crime. You're not qualified for that, maybe. My point is, technology may have brought
Shred it? Shredding's I wouldn't call shredding a perfect plan either. Because if somebody has access to those shredded pieces, and they have enough time, they can put it together. Burning it is a much better plan. If it's really important, I would burn it. Eat it, that also works. Shredding it's fine if you're going to split the shredded data. But if you're gonna put it all in, if you're gonna shred it and then put all the shredded information in the same bag, definitely not then.
Distortion into images, but it also allows us to remove distortion in pretty intuitive ways, even if people had to get a little bit creative to do so. So now that we know how to do it, we could just reverse the effect of the blur on these numbers and easily decipher the code.
It's a little bit harder for blur.
Right? Well, not exactly.
Assuming you know the blur algorithm, it can be done.
To hide these numbers, the captain used a box blur, which is kind of like the poor man's Gaussian blur. That's not to say it doesn't come in handy every once in a while, but that's besides the point. The difference between this and something like, let's say, a swirl is that when you blur a photo, you're actively averaging pixels, which can overlap and, with enough strength, can actually be destructive. In some cases, algorithms can actually reverse the effect of a blur, but with too much blurring, you reach the point of no return. And that's where we are with this puzzle. The numbers are so blurred that it would even be impossible for like an AI algorithm to figure out. Which, by the way, these are very few and far between, but I saw some comments on my Twitter that were like, yeah, AI could do that. Okay. Do it. I mean, if it was that easy, just do it. I even bet that with no prior information, no hints, I could still guess exactly what is behind a blur. So I got my brothers to blur some player icons from this game called Geometry Dash so that I could try and decode them live on stream the next day.
Just know Oliver's doing it right now, and remember that for later. I do not know how to use Photoshop. Maybe we're not brothers. The control key is the one you use to transformate it, and then you hold shift so it
Transformate.
Keep that in mind.
Okay, so
undo. No,
hold alt and then do the edge.
I was.
We broke it. Oh my god, why is the undo button not working?
Rip.
It doesn't go to the corners because it's not the same dimensions.
I know, but like, his was different.
Oh no, you deleted the smart filter. What if it just gets them all wrong on stream?
This is some sort of eye. What? This has to be right. I gotta see what this is.
That was pretty
actually.
close.
No. Let's try it.
That's not.
Yeah, I think I nailed it. I mean, that's pretty much exactly. If you if you squint.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
the same. What? What is this? Come on. What? This
Okay,
is impossible.
Wait, no, some of those are pretty close.
What is this? If you squint. That's the same. What?
I would say that's pretty close.
What is this? Come on.
That's basically right on.
What? This is impossible.
Absolutely, yeah,
Just
absolutely
did
as
not
well.
get a single one right. So I know what you're thinking. You suck at unblurring images. There's no way that you were the first one to unblur the numbers. Well, guess what?
I wasn't. Okay, well, he was.
Well, I was. And after just 20 minutes of decoding, I accidentally earned a shout out on Captain D's channel by becoming the first person in the world to decode that block of numbers.
I'm challenging you to Tux Cut tomorrow night. Are you now?
Yeah, I'm pretty cool. And even though I may not be the best at unblurring images by themselves, there are still a few pieces of information in his post that at first you may have taken for granted. Right here, you can see that he used After Effects' fast box blur set to 20, with the font as Arial Narrow Bold. Now, don't get me wrong, it definitely is possible to find those by yourself, especially because he left some numbers outside of the blur, which can make it super easy to identify the font, and that's even ignoring the fact that Arial's one of the most popular fonts, like, ever. Anyway, no matter how I ended up there,
I don't know if it's more popular than Times New Roman. I don't know what would be the most popular font, but it's definitely up there.
Font, the font size, the type of blur, and the blur size that was used. And why would I want that, you ask? Well, I was about to recreate the number grid pixel for pixel.
Jesus fucking Christ. Arial is the default selected on Office apps, right? Maybe? No, we're not talking about Linux. No one gives a shit about Noto. Actually, what is the most popular web font? Because I imagine the most popular web font actually might be the most popular font, just full stop.
Come on. I was going to say some sort of witty transition, but I don't even think that's as funny as this fat cat knocking everything over. So anyway, the next step of the process was bringing everything into After Effects and trying to match up my numbers with his. I was definitely rushing to do it, but I was pretty confident that no one else had thought about it. I was wrong, but you know, I was still going to be the first person to get it done no matter what. So yeah, when I came up with my plan, I just got to it and recreated his exact number grid in After Effects. And again, it was easy knowing like the font and the blur, but once you get to the middle, obviously you don't know the numbers. So I just put a bunch of ones as placeholders, and I quickly realized that sure, a blurred 1 and 3 are totally different, but like a 6 and 8, when you blur them, they look basically the same. So it's hard to trial and error and brute force your way through, just guessing numbers until you have like the same exact blur that the original image had. And to be fair, I did get the first number, but then I was pretty unsure about like every other number after that. But the good thing is, on the spot, I remembered a blending mode that I use pretty often when I'm editing my videos. You see, sometimes when I'm editing my videos, I'll have to like cut from this to this. You can see that that's pretty jarring.
I didn't, wait, what did you?
Videos, I'll have to like cut from this to this. You can see that that's pretty jarring. And I know this isn't the best example, but the way that I would fix that, if I wanted it to be a smooth cut in some sort of like edit, then from here to here, I would want to overlay the clips in a way that my face is going to end up in the same place on the frame after I cut jarringly, so at least it's a little bit smoother. But the way that I line it up to where the most pixels are as similar as possible is a difference blending mode. And the difference blending mode is exactly what it sounds like. It just shows you the difference between your top layer and your bottom layer. The more similar a pixel, the more black it'll be. So you just want to make the screen as black as possible. So when I'm editing and line up my two faces on top of each other and then try to get the difference as little as possible, when you cut from one to another, it looks smooth. And if you want to see that difference blending mode used in the coolest way I've ever seen,
yeah, I guess in the case of a green screen that makes sense.
Called
motion extraction.
It's actually one of the coolest videos on YouTube, and it shows the tiny differences in movement in big landscapes and stuff like that. I'll link it down below.
Wow,
It
that
just
actually
shows
is
that
cool.
frame differencing is an insanely powerful tool, and it is 100% what made this possible. Back to our puzzle, I realized that if I overlay the original image on top of mine, then when I get the 4 right, it'll turn completely black. So then I really could just trial and error and brute force from there and try every number in each slot, which is what I did. So yeah, I would just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that one was 0. It was easy until I realized that the 6s and 8s are still impossible to differentiate. But what if I just put like an exposure layer on top, and now every single small difference is a bright, blinding white that you would only see at the gates of heaven? From there, it was a breeze. I just basically felt like who's like a famous puzzle solver. I don't know, Nicolas Cage, but basically I figured it out.
Fancy
and
way to
with
do
every
it.
number revealed, it was time to post the result. And oh my god, I did not actually realize I was going to be first. People loved it. Captain Disillusion said he would give me a personal on-screen shout out on his YouTube channel. The whole thing instantly got posted on Reddit, got like 40,000 upvotes, and Smarter Every Day called me clever. That guy's verifiably smart. I'm clever, maybe. But then to be fair, 20 minutes later, this guy figured it out as well. And if I had just not seen it earlier, then maybe they would have gotten it first, and then I
Well, if someone finds it after you, did they actually find it after you?
wouldn't even be making this video right now. So I guess my strategy to decipher the code from a very blurred out image wasn't actually that original. And you know, I'm not special. I feel like anybody could have come up with this if they were determined enough. I just happened to see the post. Blurring images definitely can be destructive, but if you're not trying to get your information figured out by malicious people, then you probably shouldn't leave it behind a blur that has a chance to be removed. In fact, if you want to cover up anything, I would recommend the black box, the oldest trick in the book. Using the markup tool on your phone Wait, the black box strategy might have its flaws too. Because if you're on an iPhone, someone could theoretically go into adjustments, turn up the exposure, turn up the brilliance, turn up the highlights, turn up the shadows, turn down the contrast, and they would reveal the exact message that you were trying to hide. This
Obviously he's trying to put like a subscribe thing here. If iPhones actually don't like have full black when you write over something, that's just an iPhone problem.
stuff can be dangerous. Nobody wants information that they thought was safe to be revealed in any way. So please make sure that if you're trying to
Use
cover
a
up your
real-
sensitive information,
a
just
real
use
photo
a
editor.
completely opaque box. Don't blur it, don't swirl it, don't use just one pass of the marker tool on your phone. Unless you're a horrible
That's
person,
true.
actually. Then definitely do swirl your face and send it to
Never
the
use the marker tool. Use the pen.
police while you're at it. But most importantly, don't give it to a group of determined computer nerds who would absolutely love to decipher a code that you gave them. Because in less than
Yeah,
an
the
hour,
FBI.
you're going to be staring back at your own password.
That was fun. When I take screenshots in browser, I inspect element, delete
bribed to make a
Shut up, coffee. When I take screenshots in browser, I inspect element, delete secrets first. Yeah, that's always a good plan. Yeah, just don't have the data even be present in the screenshot, then it can't be leaked.